Hi everyone, and welcome to the final video of Bard's Spotlight. Here we are, Bard's final and most impactful ability, his ultimate, Tempered Fate. Now in the past few videos, we've tried to optimize and figure out the best way to use Bard's spells. With Tempered Fate, however, this is extremely difficult, as the possibilities are endless. Arguably one of the hardest spells to use correctly in League of Legends, let's start by going over what this spell excels at. The most common use for Bard's ultimate is to catch out isolated targets from a range at which your team can close the distance and then use their spells on them. You need to be able to gauge the distance between your team and the target, because if nobody's in range to follow up, they'll simply walk away. It's also important that you yourself are in range to set up for your Q. For this reason, you want to try to ult the enemies when they're standing near walls or beside creeps, rather than completely alone, so that you can set up the stun. This is how Bard achieves his great engage potential. In a team fight, the way that you use your ultimate becomes slightly more complicated and risky. You need to be really careful, because the most common mistake that a Bard can make is immediately ulting on priority targets if they group up. This has the potential to end up in a disaster, because if you have another big AoE damaging champion on your team in the fight, for example Orianna, chances are that they saw the same opportunity that you did and may have used their ult at the same time. Now you never want to be negating any of your team's AoE damage. Either warn your team beforehand to wait until after you ult in a fight, or make sure that their abilities aren't available. Next, I want to talk about using your ult to dive towers. Now, as most people are aware, Bard's ult can put towers into stasis. This gives you access to easy dives. However, it's important that you don't also hit the enemy champions with your ult as you're trying to dive them. Try to aim your ult so that it hits the tower right on the edge and avoids hitting the enemy champions. It's pretty straightforward as, well, towers are immobile. Similarly, Bard's ult will also work on Dragon and Baron. Useful when you're just looking to stall for your allies to get into a better position to either steal the objective or just to set up a great fight. Last, I want to talk about the riskiest way of using Bard's ult. Using it on allies to try to save them. Typically, when you aren't able to communicate with your allies, it's hard to judge when ulting them is actually worth it. Oftentimes, they won't expect it, and it might mess up their game plan. So only try to use it when they're in situations that they can't react to on their own. For example, they're being ulted by Vi, or they have Fizz ult attached to them, or maybe they're getting engaged on by Lissandra, and when she clicks R on them, they can't do much. Realistically, Tempered Fate has a ton of different specific uses that I'll most likely detail in separate videos. But all I can say is try to get creative, and don't underestimate the engage potential that this spell provides. Thank you guys for watching the last episode of the Bard Spotlight series on his ult. I'm assuming if you've come this far, it means you've watched all the previous episodes. If you haven't, you can check them out over there. But if you have, I really hope that you've been able to take something away from all these episodes and maybe come to appreciate the beauty that is Bard. I realize it's taken me a little bit of time to complete the whole series. I did not plan on it taking this long, but hopefully going forward into the future, I'm able to make more videos like this for you guys, and feel free to watch them if you want. So again, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.